Update. My daughter chose her stepdad to walk her down the aisle. Original post. I, 46 male, have one daughter, 26 female, whose mom ran off when she was 7 and came back when she was 15, claiming she wanted a relationship. She gave it a chance and apparently got really close to her new stepdad. Apparently, he's a really cool guy and likes similar things to her, like hockey, and also plays guitar, like my daughter. I initially thought that it was great she was bonding with her stepdad and her mom. Now she's getting married to her fiancé, 30 male, who she has been dating for 4 years. I pitched in for the wedding, as did her mom, upwards of $25,000. The day fast approaching, and she told me she has chosen her stepdad to walk her down the aisle, as they have really bonded over the past 11 years. I didn't say anything at the time, but I have already decided that I will not be going, as I won't be disrespected like this. If she wants to be a happy family with her mom who abandoned her for 8 years, go for it, but count me out. It wasn't either of them who went to all her hockey games. It wasn't them who paid for her tutoring for exams. It wasn't them who went through the financial hardship of working 3 jobs until she was 17 to support both of us. And it wasn't them who was here when she got her milestones. It was me. I won't be telling her I'm not coming. I just won't show. Now for the comments before reading the update. Why can't both dads walk her down the aisle? Who says things have to be traditional? I ain't walking with that man. I've literally never spoken to him. And she said she wants him. Never did say she wants both of us. I can only assume it's because stepdad got to be the fun dad. He didn't have any real responsibility. She'll figure it out when she really needs help, and mom and stepdad have that confused look on their faces. At 26, she should be old enough to not just be picking the fun dad. Agree, that's middle school garbage. Honor your father, especially because he's not the one who ran out. Why not tell her how it makes you feel? Why not ask why you're not the one she thinks of when thinking of a father? You can still do what you want, but at least have the talk. You know, this is absolutely what I wanted to verbalize and couldn't find the words for. OP, only when we stop participating in the conversation do we truly lose our loved ones. You shouldn't have to beg, you shouldn't have to bring this up, but I tend to see stupidity where others see malice. Ask your daughter point blank, why do you not see me as a father? And I'd bet money she get the surprise Pikachu face, because this literally never occurred to her. The question can open a lot of dialogue about your relationship, the work you put in, and what it took for her to be where she is. Also, given how blasé it sounds like she told you, it might be something her mother suggested, and she's just going along with it, not realizing the magnitude of the insult. You can absolutely from there say, I'm sorry that I wasn't a father figure you wanted. I did my best, but if this is what you want, then it is your day. I hope you have a good life. When you don't show up for the wedding or even respond to her calls and texts, she will know how badly she messed up. But if you don't talk to her, you will be cutting off your nose to spite your face. I have seen something similar to this play out twice, and at this point, I think the pain is just too much to bring up. First, a son, raised by a single mother for his entire 18 years, has struggled. She was mildly crazy, but damn if she didn't do her best. Dad comes back in, is the fun dad, and son changes his last name next year from mom's to dad's. Second, a daughter raised by her grandmother also for all 18 years, but mom comes back into the picture after 18 years of on and off heroin use, and suddenly grandma's off her rocker, and she prefers to hang out with mom. Neither parent brought it up, and I just don't think either of them could bring themselves to do it. I'd send her this post. It tells her how you feel and how I'm sure a lot of people agree with your sentiment, especially since you helped $25K for the wedding. She isn't 11 choosing a weekend with him over you. She is an adult, and this is a hopefully one-time event. She is saying he is more important to her. It's insanely disrespectful, especially since you're essentially a single parent for so long. You need to let her know this isn't a small deal. I wouldn't send this post. It was written from a place of frustration and deep hurt. Looks like he needed to blow off steam here anonymously. But for the love of God, a civil conversation about emotional issues with your children goes a long way. Now for the update. So I took your guys' advice and I spoke with my daughter and decided that even if she didn't change her mind, I wouldn't miss her wedding or cut her off. I spoke to her and let her know that what she's choosing to do hurt me, and that if she still wants her stepdad to walk her down the aisle, that is her choice. I won't be there, but we'll still be supporting her. She said she still wants me there, but that her mom has apparently said she wants stepdad to walk her down the aisle as a way of accepting him to the family. She said that if she refuses, she won't be coming, and neither will stepdad, and they will never speak to her again. I ask if she is really someone she wants in her life, setting demands to maintain her relationship. And you'll never guess who I got a furious call from. Her mother. She was saying I manipulated my daughter into saying she never wanted to see them again and uninvited them. I will be in 3 months' time walking my daughter down the aisle. Happy for you, but don't trust that your ex won't try to interfere and manipulate your daughter. Also, your daughter needs to be on the lookout for the manipulations to continue and not fall for it again. I'm going to back this up, because by what her mom has done, she shouldn't be trying to tell her daughter what she should be doing for her wedding. We don't really know if she will try again or not, but it's always good to be safe. Thirding this, the mommy here sounds very manipulative and selfish, and people like that tend to keep going or escalate, both in my direct experience and based on what I've learned in therapy. I'm glad Opie and his daughter are able to communicate well and seem to have a really solid bond. Stay on your toes. A lot can happen in 3 months, but if stepdad was any kind of man, he would have refused the offer in the first place. I'd agree, but we don't know what the mom may have told stepdad about the ex. If she's willing to go no contact with her daughter over this, there's no saying what she tells everyone about the ex. So maybe stepdad thought he was doing the right thing. Who knows? I just hope Opie and everyone else there remembers this is the daughter and her spouse's day, and to make decisions in her best interest as much as possible. She's probably stressed to the gills over the mom already. I know I would be. Anyone who wants to live with that kind of woman is either evil himself or very submissive. I bet on second. Am I the a-hole for running away from home? Original post. I, 15 female, will be a junior in high school once the new school year starts. I have a little brother I'll call Matt, 3 male. My parents both work full-time jobs in the business district. I was a planned baby, but Matt wasn't. My parents considered putting him up for adoption, but couldn't do it. They don't know I know this. Once my mom ended her maternity leave 2 weeks early, there was a schedule who would watch Matt when. Mom leaves for work at 4:30 a.m., waking me up on the way. I watch Matt until I need to go to school at 7, and by that time my dad is up and takes over. I get home from school at 3:45 p.m., and my dad leaves for his work at no later than 4 p.m. I watch him till my mom gets home at 6 p.m. For the first year, that's how it went, and I was fine with that. Now, my mom has shifted her hours to work later, so I watch Matt till he sleeps, and I can't sleep till my mom gets home, which is usually 10 to 11 at night. On top of that, I do anything that needs doing at home. I'm in AP classes and have my homework to do as well. Matt's not very well behaved, as he's had health issues since birth that caused him discomfort. He's a toddler, and I get that, but his tantrums and general demeanor make it hard for me to get things done. The 2 things that tore me down most happened a week before school ended back in May. I managed to talk to my mom and ask her if we could please hire a sitter to look after Matt. I want to take on some extracurriculars. Her response was they didn't need to waste money on that because they had me. 2 days later, my mom got home at 5 p.m., which early for her, and after eating dinner, told me to ask the school if I could shorten my class load next year in order to spend more time at home, since my dad also apparently wants to shift his hours. I told her no, and she got mad saying I needed to be more understanding and accepting. I had enough and blew up. I can't remember what all was said, but I do remember yelling that I wasn't my little brother's parent. Stormed to my room, stuffed some things in my backpack, and left while my mom was distracted by my brother. I'm safe. I called my grandmother and explained what was going on. She and my mother are estranged, but we managed to stay close. Once she picked me up and got the details, she said she understood. My parents blew up my phone, demanding I come home and telling me I should be ashamed of acting this way. My grandmother blocked their numbers. She did talk to them, and they agreed I can stay where I'm at until I get my head on straight. I feel guilty for leaving my brother, but at the same time, I feel so worn out. Other family weighed in, and while most are on my side, others say I need to accept my duties to the family and suck it up. I'm conflicted and don't know what to do. Am I the a-hole for running away? Not the a-hole. You're with a relative. I wouldn't count that as an actual runaway. They all know where you are and you're safe. I completely agree with you. You are not your brother's keeper. They are wanting you to risk your education for a child that isn't yours. Can you stay with your grandma during school? I talked to my grandmother about that, and she would be willing to take me in, but I'm not sure how my mom and dad would respond. Does your grandmother live within the same school district as your parents? Or would you have to switch schools in order to live with her? As long as she lives in the same district and you don't have to switch schools, there shouldn't be an issue with updating the school about your living situation, meaning emergency contacts. Your school guidance counselor may even be able to help with any paperwork that's needed by the main office of your school. Not the a-hole. You're still a kid. You shouldn't be dealing with so much responsibility. You didn't sign up to be their unpaid babysitter. You're literally losing your childhood because your parents think you have to be responsible for your brother when they should be the ones taking care of him. Or hiring a nanny or a babysitter if they can't always be there for your brother. Not the a-hole. It is absolutely inappropriate for your parents to do this. I hate it when people pull a Duggar and make their older children raise the younger ones. I think it was very smart of you to go to your grandma, and you might want to live there through school. The nerve of your parents asking if you could shorten your course load and saying you need to be more understanding and accepting. Unbelievable. Now for the first update. Thank you to everyone who left comments. I feel more confident in my decision now. A couple of people said I needed to talk to my parents about a sitter or boundaries. I've tried before the last time, and they either brushed me off or said things like, "That costs so much money," and "But you do such a good job," and "You're the big sister. It's your duty to watch him." I looked up parentification since I'd never heard it before, and all the boxes were ticked. I had no idea. My grandmother is talking to an attorney and wants to set up an arrangement that will let me stay with her my last 2 years of high school. After I graduate, I plan to go to college in another state. Thank you again for your kind words. If something major happens, I'll let you all know. Best wishes to you and your brother. He's the most innocent of all in this mess. And I'm glad your grandma is there to look after you. If your parents try to cause problems, call CPS on them. Parentification is abuse and is their child, not yours. I am sorry for your brother, but best of luck to you. You're doing the best to protect yourself. Second update. It's been a few weeks, but quite a bit has happened. I'll try my best to keep this concise. Once again, thank you for all your comments and support. That meant a lot to myself and my grandmother, who says hello. Firstly, my father managed to find my post despite my efforts. He told my mother about it, and they proceeded to blast me to the members of my extended family via social media, saying I made them look bad. She deleted the post a few hours later, according to my cousins who support me. A few days later, during a meeting between my parents and myself, my grandmother and our lawyer, my father, apologized to me, and I felt it was sincere. As for my mother, she was silently fuming. Matt was at their house with one of my aunts. They agreed, with great reluctance on my mother's end, to give my grandmother full custody of me of my remaining 3 years as a minor. The next day, my grandmother and some of my supportive family members helped me get what I had for belongings out of my parents' house. I didn't feel true relief until that moment. Now, I'm trying to enjoy my summer. I'm hanging out with friends, going swimming, I'm relaxing. I'm finally reading books I bought 3 years ago that I never got a chance to read. I'm planning extracurriculars for next semester and even planning a birthday party, my first in 3 years, for my sweet 16 in February. I'm also helping my grandmother around the house. I do chores, but this time I'm getting an allowance. Even my sleep has improved. It's a whole new way of living, and it's kind of overwhelming, but I've never been happier. Hopefully this is the last time I post. I'm going to log off Reddit and go out with my grandmother for some shopping. Thank you all. Enjoy being free, my friend. We need more grannies like yours. Good luck in life. Hopping onto the top comment to say that I love this so much. This is the childhood/adolescence you deserve. I'm so grateful for your grandmother for being in this world and doing right by you. Glad things worked out for you. One question, did you get your documents such as birth certificate and social security card? You will need those, and I don't really trust your mother. Grandma can order placements for OP, assuming they get all the paperwork for legal custody, rather than just some kind of informal arrangement. OP mentions a lawyer. Guarantee it's all legal since there's one involved. If he's worth his chickens, He'll also make sure all the needed documents, birth certificate, social security card, etc. are all handed over too. It's nice if they hand them over, but getting new ones for a minor you have custody shouldn't be hard at all unless they were born off the grid in a cult or something. Guardians have to be able to do things like enroll kids in school, get medical treatment, help them get licensed to drive, etc. I'd be more concerned about the parents misusing them. Yes, replacements can be acquired, but most identity theft happens from family members. If things are so tight that parents are overusing the OP, I'd personally be concerned about identity theft for financial issues and probably some spite. Most family members get away with identity theft because people are reluctant to turn them in for it. There's not all that much stopping your parents from ordering a dozen certified copies of your birth certificate and handing them out in Times Square if they were so inclined. Most localities don't restrict parents from getting them regardless of the state of the relationship. All most people can realistically do is monitor their credit and dispute it if anything happens. There's a way to get your social security number changed if you end up being a repeat victim, but I've heard it's a really high bar.